Hello and welcome to the first draft of our new studio. It's a little bit echoey in here, so we're going to have to work with that a bit. We've just moved and we're looking at setting up a bit more in the background for you to look at. We've got the Millennium Falcon over there. We've got a little sign back over here. We've got some more Lego that the kids have worked on and I've worked on as well. But we'll come back with some more nautical themes behind me as well. I'd love to hear some feedback on what you think of the studio so far. I hope it's not too echoey, but it is a Thursday and we produce every Thursday. So we're going to post this on Thursday. And what we're going to talk about today is sea trial. Okay, so sea trial is so critically important when purchasing a boat. Whether it's brand new or secondhand, obviously you'll see a brand new boat at a boat show and you look at it and you look at the lifestyle of it and you go, wow, this is awesome. And as you've heard me say before, if you've been watching my content, it's for an owner to look, or a buyer to look at a boat from the lifestyle down. It's then you need to bring around you the people who can help you understand the boat from the keel up. So now, sea trial and an on-water demonstration, two very, very different things. A sea trial is often conducted like an on-water demonstration, especially in the second-hand space. They'll say, oh, we'll go for a sea trial, subject to sea trial. We went out in the boat, it worked all right, didn't it? Yeah, cool, all right, well, you've got your survey there. Hang on, but there's a sea trial component in the survey. Oh yeah, but didn't have to do that because we've been out on it. We know what it's like. So that's an on-water demonstration. So an on-water demonstration is where a new boat dealer will take you out on the boat and take you out on that you intend to buy, or a boat very similar, and they'll show you the lifestyle advantage of that boat. Yeah. What you're looking at is understanding the boat from the lifestyle down. And then when you sort of go, oh, I kind of like this one, I think this is where I want to be. It's about surrounding yourself with the people who can explain it to you and really give you a good understanding of that vessel from the keel up, from the hull up, more importantly, and how the hull performs. So on-water demonstration is part of the sales process. A sea trial is something that is included in a survey. So if you go and get a pre-purchase inspection, including insurance survey, they're very different things. So your insurance survey is a survey that gets you your insurance. The pre-purchase inspection is in the vessel's condition as it was found at that moment. Most surveyors or most inspectors will do a sea trial portion of their inspection, of their pre-purchase inspection, as well as an out-of-water inspection. Both critical that you tick off on both of those options. If it's a second-hand boat and they give you the option to do oil samples or coolant samples, tick that option, say, yes, please, I will have that. We'll circle back to that. But the sea trial is really important. Now, you would have seen a little story I shared before. I'm going to share with you again, standing on a boat that had a few issues, quite a few issues. It was only about, at that time, it was a few years ago, but it was only about a 5-year-old boat. And I actually said to the owner and his wife, did you do a sea trial of this vessel when you purchased it in Sydney? And his wife said, oh yes, it was a beautiful day. We went out on Darling Harbour, they took us to lunch, and then we went on anchored over in such and such a bay, and we did coffee and cake on board. It was fabulous. That's an on-water demonstration. That's not a sea trial. You need to look at the sea trial as not another opportunity for the dealer or broker to re-pitch you on the lifestyle advantages of this boat. Because one of the key components of a sea trial is getting the boat to go through its entire rev range, right? That's really, really critical. So a sea trial to me is you're on the boat, you're with someone like myself or another skipper who's driving the boat, not quite like we stole it, but getting pretty close to. We're putting it through its paces, we're doing tard bank turns, we're doing all that sort of stuff. There's a fair chance there's an engineer with his computer plugged into the actual engines, into the brain box of the system. And there's a surveyor going through all the things and checking all the stuff. So it's probably, it can be up to 5 people on board during a sea trial, including yourself. Depending on the size of the boat, sometimes it's more. But that's part of your due diligence. Now, I was talking to a surveyor, a very good friend of mine who's a surveyor. he was saying that, it's often the case that, you get out and you get up to that full noise we're talking about much older boats though, and anyway. And you only get the engines complaining and making alarms and setting things off once they get up to that full noise. Now, you're not meant to run boat engines at 100% engine load like all the time. It's not good for them. So they'll sit happily at 90% engine load and 80% engine load and 75% engine load. So you've got to go through those rev ranges, have a look at it. Also, you're going to hopefully get fuel data and fuel usage. And with modern diesel engines and model petrol engines, if it's not on the data screen, the technician can get that sort of information for you as well. If you've got the option to have fuel on your data screen, take that option. Anyway, digress. So sea trial is really important, and also more so when you're buying a new boat. Well, as important, not more so, but as important when you're buying a new boat, because they all look good at the boat show. They all look awesome at the boat show. They've just, you're like, oh, this one's got this, and it goes up and down, and that goes there, and we've got beds here, and we've got sunbed there, and we've got that. And then you've got this garage that pops out, and a tender pops out of that. It's all awesome sitting in the marina. And a big part of boating life can be sitting in the marina. The boating life starts at the marina gate. It doesn't always have to be this epic voyage. If you're an epic voyager, you need a vessel that is an epic voyager. If you're a picnic boater, you need a vessel as a picnic boat. And it all comes down to the area of operation as well. So going out in a sea trial, yes, you want a reasonably calm day, or you want an area where you can open up wide open throttle with a fairly clean surface of water to run across, so you can actually get the right data that you need. But also, if you're going out for an on-water demonstration, pick a day that's just a little bit choppy as well, because you want to feel what that's like. I guess if you're a picnic boater, you'll go out on mostly really sunny, calm days. But it's better to know what a boat feels like when there's a little bit of a moderate chop as well involved. So sea trial is so important. It just, you're going to feel what the boat feels like, and you need to put it in hard bank turns, all that sort of stuff. It also depends on who's at the helm, okay? If there's a dealer or broker at the helm, they might, and my experience has been, sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes they drive the boat to the advantage of the boat and to the advantage of the sale of the boat. I had a fellow who had an older boat. Classic right owner, wrong boat story. He bought a cheaper boat and thought, I'll have this for a bit, and this will just teach me what I need in a boat. It's cost him as much as what the boat cost to fix it up. I'm guessing he's getting to that point now. So, but I said, did you go for a sea trial on this? He said, oh yeah, we went out and but we were in those sort of river sections and stuff, so we could only get up to speed for a little bit, and then we had to come back, and it was all controlled by the river's speeds, and there's only a little bit where we could open up. I said, did he get it right up to full throttle? Like, did he get it to wide open throttle? He's like, I'm not really sure. And I said, did you have a surveyor on board at this stage? He's like, no, it was just me and the dealer. I'm like, okay. Another example of sea trial is, oh geez, I didn't think it'd be like that. Oh wow, I thought it'd be a lot calmer, I got quieter. It's really noisy. That boat's really noisy. These are comments that I've heard. I didn't think they'd be that loud. I just, it looked so calm in the marina and everything, but wow, this thing's I can barely hear myself think. Those engines are so loud. So it's even that. It's even like your expectation of, peaceful, calm days cruising across the water. It's like, wow, those engines are loud. So this is why sea trial is so important. On-water demonstration, yes, do an on-water demonstration. But when it says on the survey, subject to sea trial, that's part of the process that should be included in the pre-purchase inspection program and the due diligence program. So when you've digested all that information, if you go, thinking on it, reflection, this boat's not for me, it's going to be a problem, I've got too much to fix on it, it doesn't really match what I was looking for. Whatever you've paid the surveyor, if you walk away from it, from my experience, you've saved another zero. So what does that mean? Okay, so you've gone and you've looked at like a 45, 50 foot boat or a trailer boat or whatever, and you've spent $700 on a trailer boat inspection, or you've spent $5,000 on a 50 foot boat inspection or 40 foot boat inspection. If you walk away from that because there's issues with that boat, you've saved yourself $50,000, and I can pretty much, from my experience, guarantee that's what you've saved yourself every time. So the process is go through all these steps. Don't skip steps. Just had had a request for someone who wanted an insurance inspection. They need inspection for insurance. I've gone, oh, okay, cool. Well, I don't actually do that, but I can recommend someone who can. Have you bought this boat? Yeah, we bought it. We just need to get it inspected for insurance. What is it? Oh, it's a 2001 something with twin petrol engines, inboard shaft drive. And, it needs a bit of a tidy up, but it's okay. And I actually know this boat, and I'm like, wow. You didn't get a pre-purchase, or you didn't get a pre-purchase inspection? No. It all seemed pretty good. It all seemed pretty fair. We got it at a good price. Yep, that sounds to me like the first call of a world of pain. So I know I don't want to be fun police in what I do. Hear dog barking in the background there. Thanks, dog. I don't want to be the fun police in what I do in this space. What I want to be is, I don't want to lose sleep over you. It's that simple. I just don't want to lose sleep over you. And when it comes to marine safety, I will give as much pushback as required. If there's a portion in that space where you're going, I think there's a compromise we can make like that. But when it comes to marine safety, I will never be backwards coming forwards on that. It's just so important. Because boating has to be easy. It has to be fun. And this is why sea trial is so important. If you can wangle your way around, get it on as many boats as you can if you're in that buying process. Even boats you wouldn't necessarily think of buying, have a look at them, go and trial them if there's an opportunity to sea trial. I know there is firms who work really well, and they will take you out on their boats. They have their own demo boats. They will take you out. They will, kind of roll out the red carpet for you and do all that sort of thing. Just try as much as you can. Get on the water, charter for a little bit, do what you can. But when it comes to that real pointy end of purchasing a boat, sea trial is just so very important, and it has to be done right. So what are our takeaways from this? A sea trial is not an on-water demonstration. A sea trial is not a moment for a dealer or a broker to re-pitch you on the lifestyle advantages of this boat. The sea trial is literally that. It is a trial. It is a shakedown of the vessel and all its operating systems, and everything needs to be switched on. Everything needs to be switched off. The boat has to go through its rev ranges, or if it's a yacht, it has to have all its sails shaken out. Okay, I'm going to share with you a story from another surveyor, friend of mine. I went to do a survey on a boat and was doing the sea trial. And he said, all right, well, let's throw the gear out. The dealer said, oh, we're not here for that today. We're just sea trialing it for motoring. And surveyor's like, hang on, this is a yacht. It has sails. I'm going to shake out the sails. Oh, well, I don't think that's not really what we're here for today. So they shook out the sails, and I'm just going to leave the rest up to your imagination. Yeah, that was requiring a new set of sails and a re-rig and a rig survey. So for the most part, quite a few dealers have their sort of customer for life mentality. If they don't, and the sea trial is also your opportunity to pick the brains of the people around you. Pick the brains of the surveyor, pick the brains of the engineer, and also get them independent. So many times when I've met right owner, wrong boat, who organised the sea trial for you and the survey? Oh, the brokerage handled everything. They handled everything. They got their guys to do it for me. Everything was done. They made the recommendations on who we should use, and they did everything. That was awesome. They organised everything. You want a surveyor that doesn't have a beer with a mate relationship with the dealer or broker. Yep, fully independent. Yep. All right, so I think I've done enough on sea trial. Got any questions on sea trial? Put them in the comments selection below. We'd really love you to subscribe and follow and share. Obviously, I've got to say that now because that's what everyone else says. And if you can see value in what we're doing, and if you've got friends who are, in that boating space, yeah, share this stuff with them. It's all about keeping you safe on the water and also finding the right boat. And yeah, sea trial is such a massive part of that. It's so crucial. And all too often I see on-water demos being passed off as sea trial. So that's where the sort of buyer beware thing comes in. All right, guys, happy boating. Bye for now. We're going to work on the studio, fix it up a little bit, and put our Millennium Falcon there with a few Lego things. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's Star Wars, not Star Trek. Sorry, guys. Anyway, happy boating. Bye for now.